Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about some new parts today, which are these. Now, these are the new SIG MCX line of buffer products from Jaeger Precision, of course. And what these basically do is they replace the hard plastic buffers found in the Toxicant MCX series, the Salvo Precision MCX series, and of course the Toxicant XM5s. So I'm going to be showing you what these are, what they do, and how you install them today. So first we're going to take a look at the Salvo Precision. You've seen this in the last video where we were taking this apart. And all we're going to do is we're going to pull the rear pin out. We're going to pull the front pin out. Mine's always a little bit stiff. And I'll show you what we're replacing. So here we have a hard plastic buffer. This is what your bolt slams into. There have been a fair amount of reports of people breaking the tabs off the top of the bolts on these salvos. And although this isn't going to, I'm not going to go as to say this will stop that happening, but, we're going to help absorb some of that impact that goes into the back of the receiver. So we take a 3mm Allen key and we're just going to spin this screw out in the back of the receiver. Now you do have to be careful when ordering these buffers on the site. Now, as the time of this video going up on YouTube, they will be live on the Jaeger Precision website. On the first batch, I don't have mounds of them. So you're going to pull that screw out. You'll see this hard plastic part. You can actually see where there's a bit of deformation there from something hitting it. So there's three types. You'll see these two look most similar. And of course the huge one is for the XM5. Now, the thinner one is for the salvo. So you see this normally sits in here like that. You basically just drop this part out and in this part goes. And it's a nice lovely fit. You'll see it says Jaeger Precision there on the front. And you can also tell on the backs. Hopefully you can see this because it says Salvo on the back. It's pretty straightforward. So all we need to do is pop this into place where the other one came out from and reinstall the screw. Now when we're reinstalling the screw, because you're not going into like a piece of hard plastic anymore, you just want to tighten this down to the point that it stops. You don't want to over tighten it. All it's doing is holding this in place, so just until you feel a bit of resistance on the Allen key, and you can leave it there. There we go, it's fitted. So now, if I pull this bolt out, you'll be able to see this usually, and you'll see the deformation on there is probably from where the hammer has deformed the back of the bolt, and it lines up perfectly with the damage on that plastic buffer, which is, of course, very hard. So we're pulling this out and basically replacing it with this piece, which is, it's still a fairly hard material. It's a Sure rating of 86A, so it's not a soft part at all. They're made from TPU. And you're just going to put this back together. Pop your rear pin in. And now it won't feel as harsh when pulling the bolt to the rear. And apart from, most of the characteristics stay exactly the same. You're just helping the MCX to just, absorb a bit of that impact. Now, these are very good. It's a very good material for, high impact resistance. The UV stability on these is very good, and they're chemical and water resistant as well. So that's the Salvo. Pretty straightforward. Now the Toxicant MCX is pretty similar. Just obviously the dimensions on the buffer are going to be a little bit different. I have to be careful with my Toxicant because if I pull these pins out with a bit too much haste, the spring and detents go flying because these pins love to just fly out the receiver. I don't have that problem on the salvos. So again, we're going to use a 3mm Allen key. What did I do with it? It's over here. And we're going to put this into the back. And more so on the Toxicants, what you'll see when I remove this screw is that the fitment of these buffers in the receiver isn't quite as nice. So you'll see here, especially on the Toxicant, it's very loose fitting. Now if we take this out, you can obviously see, of course, the difference. Salvo Toxicant has more of a higher cone shape to it. If we pop this one in, you can also see it says Toxicant on the back. You'll see that this goes in nice and snug. There's no moving around, but still capable of getting them out, of course. I've already fitted this once, which is why you can see it's just a little bit dirty off my fingers there. And again, we're just going to screw in our countersunk screw with a 3mm Allen key. And we're just going to go till it stops, and we're not going to go any further. There we go. Nice and easy. Put the receiver back together. My front pin is always a little bit stiff. Remember to push that part in at the top there. And there we go. There is your buffer installed. Very nice. Right, on to the last one here. Because when I did this, I wanted to cover all bases. So fortunately, I've got all these guns to hand. So we've got the Toxicant XM5 now, which is the Big Daddy spear. So we're going to push this pin out with a little bit of a nudge and pull the top receiver off there. And this one is a little bit different, so we need a T25. It's a Torx bit, so you'll see got this really big open cavity at the back here. This one surprised me the most because it doesn't really have a lot of surface area that contacts the bolt. So I'll pull the bolt out here, and I'm going to lose the little brass wheels, but there we go. So you'll see it's just contacting on the very edge of the bolt because that's the only part of the face that hits the rear of the bolt. Now, this part, you'll see a little bit of deformation. So it's got a slight slant to it. That's by design. Just it sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm mincing my words here now, but it sort of stages the impact of the bolt there. So it just helps a little bit more with the impact absorption. So you'll see there's a lot more surface area here. Yes, it says Jaeger Precision there. It's not going to affect it at all. And on the back, you'll see it says Toxicant XM5. Same part, just beefier. And of course, when you're making these parts from TPU in this type of thickness, it has very good rigidity there. So it's not going to deform or anything like that. And we basically just pop this in. Again, it's another very good fit. If we, you'll see it won't fall out on its own there, but I can pull it out. You'll see with the standard one, again, really loose fitting. And we just push it in there. And we take our screw. We've got our T25. And we're just going to screw this in. Again, go till it stops. And you don't have to torque it down at all. All it's doing is holding it there so it doesn't fall forward. The material thickness at the bottom isn't reinforced because it doesn't really need to be. Just don't torque that down because you're just going to squash the material at the back there. Right. Pop our bolt back in here. and you'll see there's much more surface area is going to contact the bolt there, so it's going to help absorb that impact. And it was just one of the things that concerned me with these MCX GBRs, just hitting onto a hard surface. Chances are you're never probably going to have an issue, but like myself, if you don't really feel comfortable with all that impact going into the receiver with no absorption whatsoever, because it isn't like you've got a huge recoil spring like on a normal M4. You've got this tiny little recoil spring on the top, so especially if you're using heavier gases like propane and such, just takes away a bit of that hard impact noise. And there you go. We can actually just do a quick test fire of this if I put some gas in the mag, because the mag's empty. I haven't shot the XM5 in a while just because I don't have any mags for it. I'm sure the mags were meant to be being restocked this month, so hopefully I'm going to get some. And these mags do leak. They do tend to fix themselves over a little bit of time. So hopefully I get some mags. I want to field this at the Gangster City event in May. And there you go. That is the Jaeger Precision MCX line of recoil buffer pads, available on the site right now, but only in limited quantities on this first stock. Again, you've got three types: Salvo, Toxicant, and XM5. So all three are in stock on the website. Be sure to grab them quickly. The second stock of it is going to be a little while, so if you want to pick one of these up, do it sooner rather than later. And yeah, hopefully that's got some value to you. A few people know in the Discord that I've been working on something and have been asking for updates on it, so I was just going to wait till it's done, ready to go, and hit you with it. So thanks for tuning in. Hope you pick one up. If you do, appreciate the support. Thanks for watching the video all the way through if you have done. I know retention span, I go on about that a lot, but thank you, of course. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. Check out the link in the description. Join the Jaeger Precision Discord. And as always, from me and Bench, we'll be seeing you in the next one.